y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com. Let's go to the Scrapbook Expo. This year I attended the Scrapbook Expo at the Dulles Expo Center at the very end of April, and I was super excited to get a chance to go on Friday. This is actually an event that lasts Thursday through Saturday. There's all kinds of activities. There are giveaways and door prizes and a ton of classes. There are crop sessions. There are play dates. There were just so many things. I actually only went to shop this year and check things out. Whenever you have one of these expos that travels and comes around, it's a great opportunity to see some small businesses that you might normally only be able to shop from online. You get to see products in person, which I know is something we are all super excited about. Plus, there are knowledgeable people all around to help you understand what the different products do, what they are. It is a fun place to check out. This is actually the crop section where people were able to kind of rent tables. You could meet up with friends, you could meet new friends, work on projects, take classes. It was definitely a fun-filled event. I got a chance to shop and I can't wait to take you along. I actually had the chance to go with my sister and my daughter. Even though they don't necessarily craft in the same way I do, they still had a great time exploring things. There's just lots of opportunities to see beautiful products. And if you are even slightly into crafting, you're going to get excited at one of these events. There's a ton to look at. The vendors were actually a little bit smaller this year, in my opinion, but I will tell you, we still filled 4 hours of shopping in this limited amount of vendors. So many options, almost everything you can think of. This is actually the Islet outlet, the very first one I stopped at. Bought goodies from a lot of different places. I will definitely be showing you the things I bought in a separate video because I had a lot of fun shopping and buying supplies that you can't just run out to the big box stores for. And I think that is what's truly special at this event. It's fun to see what other people are buying. It's fun to see what products are out there. I would say that this event is primarily geared towards scrapbookers and card makers. Now, I don't necessarily fall into those specific categories, not a traditional scrapbooker, not a traditional card maker, but I found a ton of supplies and paper products. There were lots of different opportunities to see how things could be used. I would say almost every booth had someone that was demonstrating a different technique, a different product, and you got a chance to just see how things work. So many metal dies. I know a lot of you have been telling me that is something you've been looking for recently. Look at all of these beautiful stamps from Stamplistic. It's also a great opportunity to get to know some companies that you don't necessarily run across on a daily basis or on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis when you are just perusing online or looking at your big box stores. So getting to see these companies in person, I definitely have a list of ones that I will be checking out online on a regular basis because I was really impressed with some of the things they carried. Now, y'all, this particular booth right here was called My Craft Room, and they had some fabulous mixed media supplies, and I was so pumped to try out a few of them, to pick up a few of them. So definitely stay tuned on my channel. You're going to get a chance to see this metallic gilding. I picked up some of that. There were just some great opportunities. Look at all the different inks. These were the Lindy's powders that turn into watercolor with all of the different samples so you could see how they worked, what the colors look like. A lot of different tools that you might not normally see on a daily basis. Look at these gorgeous colors. I cannot wait to use it. I did pick up a set of these. You'll have to stay tuned to next week's video to see the haul and see which set I picked up. They're so gorgeous though. And here's what I'm saying. You're getting to see these in real life and not just online, and it makes a really big difference. This booth was called Chalk Couture, and I loved it because it had a bunch of chalk paint. Now, you can get chalk paint a lot of different places, but look at the color range that they had available. And what I really liked about it was that they had it like this in these little tubs, but they also had some smaller packets of chalk paint because sometimes you don't need a ton of one color. You're just looking for a specific color. Those little packets were filled with the paint. And then of course they had all of these beautiful overlays that you could mix in with your chalk paint. I loved the whole concept. Another trend I saw at the expo, you can see it here at Sweet Sentiment Stamps, were 3D printed tools. Genius. We are always looking for craft room specific tools made for us, made in colors we love, and they had a ton of 3D printed tools, printed organization things. It was pretty amazing. I love the little card stands. There were glue holders, which I thought was so smart, and then little mini distress oxide holders. So great. So I think that's probably going to be a trend we're going to see with some other small businesses that have invested in these 3D printers. And I think it's fabulous because it really is customized to what we are looking for in our craft rooms. The Scrappin' in the City booth was beautifully curated. They brought together different collections and different color schemes and kind of showed you through the display how you could mix and match some different collections, which I think is such a fabulous idea because sometimes it's hard to realize what might go together. Something that really caught my eye this time around was 49 and Market. I don't know that I have seen this brand before. I don't think it's a new brand. But man, oh man, I was so excited to check out their line. I loved 49 and Market. It's definitely a brand that I'm going to be keeping an eye on in the future. This booth, again, this is Scrappin' in the City, full of all kinds of great things. And I love getting to see these collections in person. I've seen a lot of them online, but there's something about holding it in your hands, getting to kind of flip through it, seeing what might coordinate with it, that really makes a big difference. And that's why I love getting to come to events like this. Now, it costs $10 just to come and shop. Of course, all of the different classes and things do cost money. The crops cost money, but I can guarantee you're going to leave inspired. This booth here is Scrappy Boy Samson. Oh my goodness, look at these cutie themes they have. I love, first of all, the examples of all the cards using the stamps, but they had a bunch of die cuts and stamps surrounding all of these different fun themes. You have the Marvel theme. They had a Brady Bunch theme. They had, this one was Pride and Prejudice, and it was done in this like whimsical cartoon nature that I thought was adorable. And plus these die cuts are going to transfer so well into my planner. They're just sized really well. There's the Brady Bunch one. There's a I Dream of Jeannie one. There were so many adorable little sets, whimsical sets around stories and television shows and things that we love. I thought this booth was one of the more original ones just because I don't see these things all of the time. And so I really enjoyed getting to see some of the different offerings that were available in this particular booth. All right, this booth was Petticoat Parlor, I believe, and they had all of these beautiful laser cut designs. Now, are these things that I could create with my Cricut? Yes. Are these things that I would have the patience to create with my Cricut? Not all of the time. Look at all of the gorgeous pieces. They had all of these different themes with Disney, and they had Harry Potter, they had travel theme, they had sports teams, they had so many different pieces. All of these ranged from like $3 to $5, depending on how intricate they were. Oh my gosh, look at those cute Lego pieces. I thought they were adorable. I did pick up some of these. My daughter picked up some of these to decorate journals with. I think they are going to be they're just a really good quality. Yes, I could cut these out on my own, but the quality here was so well done. The details on these pieces were really well done. I loved searching through this booth. Photo Play is always a really popular booth because they have some fantastic deals. So they were carrying their collections, a bunch of different collections of Photo Play paper that were all 4 for $24, which is a fantastic deal. I love these collections because some of them are really specific, but when you're only spending $6 on the collection, it doesn't feel like it like it matters that it's super specific. They had some great stencils. I will always say stencils are a wonderful investment for your craft room. You can use them in so many different ways. There were some fabulous freebies. And here's a selection of just some of the color play options that were out there. I definitely shopped at this booth. I had to shop it multiple times. Like the first time I went in, it was so crowded that I really couldn't like get in and see what the collections were, but I went back and checked it out. Love this booth. It's one I look forward to every year. All right, this one I believe is called KNC Essentials, and they had a very soft aesthetic, a lot of different pastels, definitely geared towards card making and some really fun kits that you could put together to create some great paper projects. This one I enjoyed looking through. I don't think I picked up anything from this particular collection or from this particular booth. But again, a beautifully curated collections. It's just fun to see. It's fun to be inspired. It's fun to see what other people are gravitating to. I loved getting to see my daughter get excited about some of the different stickers. She loves crafting just like I do. She was very excited to see all of the different collections, and it was definitely a joy to get to bring her along with me. The next booth that we stopped at was Scrap That New Jersey, and it was such a great booth because they had some excellent finds, some of the newer releases from Simple Stories, which again is one of my favorite producers of scrapbook lines. So I was able to pick up some paper collections that I had my eye on and some that were newly released for a really good price. Again, I love picking up collections that go ahead and have stickers involved in it or have the die cuts in there. I love those full collections because it gives you lots of opportunities to create a lot of different things. I use these in my planner. I use these in journaling. I use them in all kinds of ways. Diamond dots are still going strong. You saw them, there was a whole booth dedicated to them, and then you saw them sprinkled throughout the expo. I think it is a wonderful activity for paper crafters. It gives us another chance to create something with our hands. And then again, seeing some of these collections that you don't get to see in person was fantastic. I told you that I fell in love with a lot of different ones. They had this Elizabeth Craft Designs, which was a different kind of feel, had a very art journal aesthetic to it, which I thought was pretty cool. And then of course, 49 and Market was in a couple of different booths, and I just fell head over heels. I love the aesthetic of 49 and Market. It has a vintage junk journal feel to it. They also have huge rub-on sheets, which are definitely making a comeback. I think rub-ons are a great way to utilize some of these gorgeous illustrations in your journaling, especially in your junk journaling in your planner, because they don't add a lot of dimension. There were lots of different cool color combos that I wouldn't have normally expected that I was drawn to, and it was great again to see these. I'm saying it over and over again. Seeing them in person is such a big difference as opposed to seeing them online. But now that I know I like that brand, I'm able to go online to these small stores and shop that brand again and again. And I think that is so exciting and so fantastic to discover something new that is kind of inspiring you. First of all, it was really nice to see the vendors that were there, to see that there are still small shops that we can support that are supporting our love of paper crafting. It was great to see so many people at the expo. It was pretty crowded, and I think they did say that overall the ticket sales were up by 30% this year. And so I hope that's a trend that continues to increase after we are getting over COVID and all of these events have been canceled for so long. It's nice to see them coming back in person. Something else I really enjoyed seeing was all the mixed media that was available. I think that that is pretty exciting as someone that is very much into mixed media. There was a whole booth. I've seen this booth before dedicated to faith and art, all about Bible journaling and beautiful faith-filled cards. And I thought this was a fantastic booth to get to visit. And there were some great demonstrations going on as well with Bible journaling and introducing that to new people, which I think is always something that's close to my heart. And so I think that's fantastic. And it was great to see some fabulous illustrated faith supplies that normally you could only pick up at Dayspring. But again, something about seeing them in person. And some of these have been around for years, but you just can't find them all over the place. So these individual sheets of paper, that's not something you can pick up at any old store. So it was great to see them here in person. Overall, I had a fabulous time at the Stamp and Scrapbook Expo at the Dulles Expo Center. It was great to meet a few of you as well. I love it when I get to see you in person, and several of you spotted me filming and said hi, and that was fabulous. If you attended the Scrapbook Expo, let me know down below. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what your favorite part was. If you have something similar to this near you, I would love it if you would link it down in the description box below, or at least tell us about it, because it's always great to spread the word about these types of events so that we can make sure that all of our crafty friends all around the country get an opportunity to attend. Thank you so much for joining me today. Stay tuned. Next week, I will have a haul video of all of the amazing things that I picked up at the Stamp and Scrapbook Expo. So you're going to want to subscribe so that you know when that video is released. I want to give a huge shout out to all of my Patreon members. Thank you all so much for all of your support. It is a fabulous thing when you can find your crafty community, and for me, Patreon is just filled with amazing people. So if you want to check out our Patreon community, you can always find the link down in the description box below. All right, I hope that you have a fabulous day, and as always, keep it creative.